the Sunday Storyteller series. I'm your host, John Taglieri. It's Sunday. It's 6 p.m. We are here. Thank you for coming back this week. Thank you for checking out the show. Thank you for supporting live music and the stories behind it. I've got a great guest for you tonight. Her name is Jennifer Teft. We're going to get to her in a bit. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what we got going on. Obviously, you know that we're live on Facebook, as we are every week. But don't forget, we are also on the Plymouth Rock TV network, and means we are on Roku every week now. So we are streaming in 10 or 15 countries for 35 million people around the world. It's a wonderful feeling, and I want to thank you for being a part of that. So if you're not here listening right now live on Sunday, you can always, if you have a Roku box, Thursday night at 7 o'clock, you can tune in. And then next Sunday, you can tune in again on Roku while we're shooting a new show. We're replaying the old show. So we're giving you lots of options to check out the show. Not that you should need any. There's nowhere to go right now. You should be home right now watching this live. But if you're not, you've got plenty of options to watch it. And then on top of that, it's streaming on both all week. So you can go to the Facebook page and watch it anytime you want. You can go to the Plymouth Rock TV channel on Roku and on demand it. So we are streaming, we are on demand, and we are on 3 times a week. So what do you think of the new digs? What do you think of this? I'd been in my control room for the last 3 weeks, and it was nice in there. I had the guitars behind me. It was kind of cool, but it felt a little small. It felt a little confined. So I moved into my live room, and I got some new accent lights, and I kind of opened it up a bit. What do you think? It's a nice highlights over there, and some highlights there, and some nice lights in the back. Kind of feels good, doesn't it? I want to start getting ready with tonight's guest. Tonight's guest is Jennifer Teft. She is the 2019 Music Award. She is a Boston Music Award nomination for Best Female Vocalist. She has won the Boston's Best Unsigned Band. She has 12 My FM Local Music Award nominations. Her CD Shift was awarded Best Alternative Album by Just Plain Folks, and I'm part of that organization. It's a great organization. She's performed with Aerosmith, with Warrant, with Quiet Riot, and with Sarah McLachlan. That's a yin and yang right there. That's 2 different ends of the coin. Just shows you how versatile she is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring in Jennifer Teft. Hi, Jen.
Hello.
How are you? Jennifer. Never call you Jen. Don't know why I just called you Jen.
You can call me Jen.
This is Jennifer Teft. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for being on the show. Appreciate it greatly.
Thanks for having me.
So tell everybody a little bit more about you outside of what I just did.
All right. Let's see. Well, I'm a musician. I perform around New England. Got a bunch of albums you can check out. So teach music to little tiny people. I'm a slave to my dog. I have 2 kids.
A slave to your dog? Usually people say they're a slave to their cats. You're a slave to your dog?
My dog is part cat.
Your dog's part.
We call him Dat Dog because he's part cat.
Nice.
He likes us on his terms.
Okay. You know, my dog's the same way. She will climb up on you and cuddle you, but then if she's laying somewhere and you lay next to her, she'll grumble, get up, and walk away.
Yeah, Rudy always says, I'll sit down on the couch next to him and I'll get up and leave the room.
Nice.
Does a lot for my self-esteem.
It just makes you feel so wanted. So now what got you into playing music?
I wanted to get into music when I was a teenager because, like I told you before, I liked boys with long hair. And they were hot, right? So, no, that's part of it.
I used to have long hair.
You wouldn't know it now.
I know. I had a long, flowing Bon Jovi, Warrant, Winger kind of head of hair.
Totally would have been my boyfriend.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll move along as we get awkward. Then I've always written poetry, that kind of thing, and then so went to college and with no qualifications whatsoever, became a music major and a voice major.
Nice.
And then graduated college and went straight to busking in the subways and in the streets. My dad was proud. No, he was actually wicked supportive, which is crazy. He was way too supportive after all the money he showed up for college.
Okay. So how did you take busking? How was it?
Busking was it was a really good way to cut your teeth. I didn't know how to play guitar very well, which was great. When you play on the subway platforms, you have a rotating audience every 7 minutes, so if you know 4 songs, you're good. But seriously, so that's pretty much what I did. And then I wrote my first album down there and got a little more proficient with stuff. So I'd go underground in like Davis Square or Porter Square in Cambridge in the wintertime, and then up in Harvard Square, right in the pit in the warm weather, which was just magical.
Okay.
Love playing there. So
Now,
much fun.
did you gather crowds, especially like in Harvard Square and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it was tricky because you've got a lot of people out there, and even though there's supposed to be ordinances on how loud you can be, that nobody pays attention to. So you kind of got to get in there, stake your territory, and turn yourself up really loud. And I somehow became sort of like adopted by all the, I call them poser homeless children in Pit. They're all the really well-dressed kids who act like they're homeless, and they hang out in the pit all day. And they, so there's like 30 of them there all the time. And they became my good friends and kind of looked out for me. And one night, all the power went out in Harvard Square. So it was totally dark, which you can imagine Harvard Square totally dark is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of candles. Don't know why they had candles.
Well, because they're
set up-
pseudo-homeless.
Right. They set up a whole ring around me of candlelight. And I was the only person who had any lighting in the whole place. It was amazing. It was probably one of my favorite nights.
That sounds really cool.
Yep.
So, as a busker, did you ever have to worry? Were there any problems? Were there ever any issues? Like down in the subway, how did you battle the noise of the trains, the people walking by? Did you ever have things to worry about down there?
Yeah, the trains were tricky because they are very loud. So you only play until the screeching starts and then you stop. And every once in a while, you get someone who's not quite right in the head who decides to befriend you. But typically, I was also much younger back then, and I think people would see, like a young girl sitting there, and if I had any trouble, someone would usually come up and kind of help me intervene.
Well, that's good to hear. That's
I
nice. That humanity was that good.
I didn't have any horrible. I did have one guy throw gum at me from above the platform and got stuck in my hair, and that pissed me off. Because curly hair,
Yeah.
not a good thing. But for the most part, I met a lot of really nice people there, and I started to have my regulars that were there every morning. People would bring me coffee. Not that I don't drink coffee, and I wouldn't drink something that a stranger gave me anyway. But it was a nice token.
So you had the same spot every day.
I did, but to do that, so I was living in Natick at the time. So I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, get in my car, drive to Alewife, get a parking spot, hop on the subway, and then get to your spot first, because it's first come, first served. So you could do all this and get there, and if someone's in your spot, you're out of luck.
So did you have to get a license for busking?
We had a permit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like specific to a spot. It was basically like a Cambridge, Somerville, this was 20 years ago, so I don't know what to do now. But so it was all first come, first served, and whoever got there. So you could never get Harvard Square. Like, swear to God, the person who played at Harvard Square just lived there. Never left. You could never get that spot.
I know that I have friends who bust in New York City, and they had specific locations. Like you got your permit for this corner or this station.
Now that would be cool.
So you had a specific permit, and if the police came by and checked it, you had to have it.
Yeah. No,
So they used to just tape into their guitar and just flip the guitar for the cops.
Yep. Yeah, because it is a battle to get up and lug your stuff in there. Look at it early in the morning, and you get there and you miss it by like 30 seconds. You see someone else walking off the train a little bit before you, and miss that spot. You got to find somewhere else.
Now, was it everything battery powered? You had you had no power, right?
I had a little battery powered mouse amp, and I had a headset mic because I didn't want to carry mic stands or anything like that.
Smart.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I had it all wrapped up so I could carry it real easily, on the subway and stuff.
Okay. Nice. That is a good way to cut your teeth. That's a great way to get a lot of experience because it's an ever-changing scenario.
You get really good at seeing what works with people and what doesn't.
So you would have people who would come down and be with you for 5 minutes before their train and then leave.
Yeah.
I
had people that would stay and miss their train so they could hear some more, and then I was like, oh, I played all the songs I know. You need to get off the train.
You need to go away. Was it decent money, to be honest? Like, how is it down there?
I made pretty good money. I'd say I didn't have a CD to sell when I first started.
Right.
And that would have made a big difference, I think. But I pulled in quite a bit of quite a bit of cash.
That's awesome. Was it the old quintessential guitar case on the floor in front of you?
Yep.
That's awesome. All these years, I don't think I've ever known that about you. That's cool.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. So you would go and bus during the day, and then you would go to the Kendall Cafe.
Oh, I played the Kendall.
And that was where like this whole sort of like group of singer-songwriters, we were there every Wednesday for our open mic night, and it was just you would go play there, and then from there you would start to book your gigs out of there. I love that place.
I gotta wonder if you and I were in the same room at the same time and didn't know it, because I used to play the Kendall because I was coming up from New Jersey, so the Kendall was one of the places I would come to play. And they used to the first few times I was a feature at that Wednesday open mic.
I'm pretty sure, depending on the years, right? But I mean.
So we're going back to like 2001 to 5, 1 to 7, 1 to 8.
Yeah, this is way
Okay. Okay. So we are going to learn about your songs tonight. That's the whole point of this. Is we're going to bring the people into your world to understand why you write what's the inspiration behind your writing. So what's the first song that we're going to do with you?
All right, so this song is called Down on. I've had it around for a few years, actually. It's not on any recording, but I do play it live a lot.
So tell us about the song. How did this song come about?
So this song came about, okay, so it has been around for a few years back. I had breast cancer several years ago. And so I was up a lot at night, with nothing to do because, you don't fall asleep when you're contemplating your mortality. So I was writing a lot of songs about not sleeping. This one was sort of about, lying there wide awake while your partner is sound asleep next to you. You're just having a coke and say, I need to talk to you about something, anything, just talk to me. You know what I mean? So it's funny with my songs. They're not story-based. They're not like, they're not telling a story about a character. They're very much sort of my ramblings of my inner thoughts. So sometimes I can give you a distilled picture of what the song is about. It basically just came from this time period of being up all night and not being able to really sleep, not being able to breathe, constantly feeling like you have weight on your chest.
Right. That must have been an interesting time, emotionally, and a lot of times those write the best songs, Well,
I don't know if they're the best songs, but they certainly were prolific, because that's an outlet, and I found that if I got out of bed and wrote stuff down, then maybe I could put it.
Very cathartic.
Just like purging it, putting out.
Yeah. Okay. Have you recorded this song?
I have not.
Okay.
None of these songs I'm playing tonight are recorded.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, then we won't talk about the production side.
No.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jennifer Teft and Down on My Knees.
Wake up, I cannot sleep. Wake up, can you feel and breathe? And I know nothing resting on my chest. And I need to relieve. Tick tock, it will not stop. Tick tock, gonna break this damn clock. It's one minute passes by and my heart runs away with my thoughts. Holding on to find the remedy, chasing thoughts that are the enemy. Twist and turn till I can barely breathe. You got me down on my knees. Wake up, I cannot sleep. Wake up, can't you feel that heat? I'm burning up and melting down inside. And I need some relief. Holding on, I find the remedy. Chasing thoughts can barely breathe. You've got me down on my knees. I just can't sleep myself, say creep my mind goes deep and tick tock, this broken clock, my thoughts say my can won't stop. Holding on to find the remedy, shapes and thoughts that are the enemy, twist and turn till I can barely breathe. Chasing thoughts that are the enemy, twist and turn till I can barely breathe. Got me down on my knees. Got me down on my knees. Got me down on my knees.
Nicely done. Great song. I've heard that one before from you, and it's a great song. I love that. Now, do you plan to record that one?
Eventually,
Very cool. Very cool. Well, if you ever need, I don't know if you've noticed, I have a thing. I know we do that. We keep doing this a little bit.
there's these people, these kids, and this life, and this other stuff.
And this whole, quarantine thing.
I know, and nobody can be in the same room together. And
Yeah. But don't worry, we'll figure it out. We'll get around it.
It's two shot pass.
Yes. So what, are you a spontaneous writer or are you a agonizing over things writer?
Good question. I think I'm a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think I'm really good at starting songs. I'm really good at writing a verse, even maybe a chorus, and then I'm like, it'll sit around for sometimes years, because I'm like, okay, I don't really have enough to say for that song yet.
Right.
But if I were more disciplined, they always say if you're a writer, write. Those times when I actually make myself sit down regularly and work on stuff, things come a little bit. But I do tend to agonize over lyrics, especially. When I was younger, and I would just first thing that came to my mind was like, oh, yeah, that's a song. And you didn't even think about it. But now you look back and you look at it and you're like, that makes no sense. And I remember going to a songwriting retreat, first and last one I ever went to, and I played a song that I had recorded with someone, gotten really good feedback, and it was like, it sounds like you're doing acid and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Really? Wow. That's harsh.
It's so mean. So I never went to one again.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a compliment or a comment you want somebody to give you. Okay, so yeah, I think we're all kind of that same way. We all have those 20-minute just songs that come out in their entirety, and then we all have those we have no idea what they're trying to say, and we just put them away for a while kind of songs. Do you see yourself as somebody who writes the same kind of structure on a regular basis, or do you kind of tend to go left and right a lot?
No, I tend to fall into my same old habits, which I try really hard not to. But you kind of I find I resonate in a certain key. You know that I love minor keys.
Yep.
And I resonate at a certain BPM, right? Like sort of the mid tempo type stuff. And I'll get to the bridge and I'm like, oh, this should be halftime. And I'm like, oh, the last 7 songs you wrote have halftime. It's what feels right, but you really got to work hard to get out of that box of what feels right. And that's what I've been these last few, like this year, writing these songs. I'm trying to get out of that box. I haven't really gotten there.
Okay.
I did write a whole song in a major key. I'm not playing it today though.
Wait, you wrote a whole song in a major key for what?
Because you always make fun of me for not playing in any major key.
I can't wait to hear this now.
And it's not very good, but it's in a major key.
You know what? We're going to make it great is what we're going to do. All right, what's the next song that we're going to do today?
Which ones I told you? No, I know. Drink With Me. We'll play that one.
Okay. So tell us about Drink With Me. Tell us about it.
So this song came. This was one of those quickly written songs. This came after night. I had a gig. I don't know. Us singer-songwriter, artistic type people tend to be somewhat insecure sometimes, right?
No.
Nah. So I finished my gig and I went to a local bar, where I just feel pretty comfortable going by myself. And I just felt like one of those nights that I just didn't belong there. Just like, I don't know, I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I felt very vulnerable. I should have just gone home.
Okay.
And I just kept drinking.
I think we've all had that night.
Yeah, so then I woke up the next morning. That was not well thought out. So this song pretty much just comes from that moment of being in there, and just trying to make something out of this. And you get out of your own insecurity with your own skin and not quite achieving that. And the fact that I was with other people and they kept offering to buy me drinks, and I was like, I didn't really want them, but I was like, okay, because I just wanted to have someone to know. I don't know, trying to sort of use the discomfort, I guess.
We've all been there. I don't think there's anybody who hasn't had one of those or a few of those nights at some point where you're just, I should go home now. Oh, another drink? Sure. And then you're sitting there with that drink like, I should have left, but I'm still here.
Yeah, and I don't want to waste it, so I'm going to drink it.
Well, who wants to waste good alcohol?
Wait even longer to go home. Yeah.
All right, so this is Jennifer Teft and Drink With Me.
Bad had hair, blank morning stare, a lot bad decisions brought me here. I should have gone home straight, instead I stayed too late. Oh, a bottle of vodka, I drank my way. And I'm holding on in this harsh morning light, holding on for peace of mind. When I say, drink with me, what I really mean is I need somebody here tonight to tell me I'm alright. Can't you see? All I really need is I need somebody to stand the tide and get me home tonight, so I will feel alright. I will feel alive. Fingertips and then a little slip, overthinking every single word across my lips. Maybe I tried too hard. Shouldn't I lay down my guard on the light, the morning reflection? These nights just leave me scarred, and I'm holding on in this harsh morning light, holding on for peace of mind. When I say, drink with me, what I really mean is I need somebody here tonight to tell me I'm alright. Can't you see? All I really mean is I need somebody to stand the tide and get me home tonight, so I Take me home tonight, so I'll feel alive. I'll feel alive. I'll feel alive. I'll be alright.
Nicely done. That song's gonna be stuck in my head all night now. That hook is gorgeous. As a writer, I'm just like, oh, that's a great hook. It's just like, drink with me. Just pulls you right
I
in.
know, and you'll laugh because I played that for my drummer, and he's like, you know, if we change it to a major key, it'll be a nice sing-along song. And I'm like, no, but I like that. It's like you shoot yourself in the foot every time.
Yeah, but
I
it's,
do.
it's still a nice sing along. It's just, it's a Jen song. It's an absolute Jennifer Teff song. So I was that whole time you were playing that, I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to hear this major key song you wrote. That's pretty awesome. So, all of the accolades that I rattled off earlier, how does that feel for you? Like when you win a best band or you get nominated for best female vocalist, as a performer, as an artist, where does that sit for you?
You know, that's something that I think has probably evolved over the years, right? I feel like it's nice. I try not to put too much stock in it and invest in sort of emotion into it. I guess it's nice to have for your bio, and you know, it's something concrete people can relate to. You know,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, okay, you were kind of legit, 'cause, you know, some people know you and think you're okay. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'd say over the last 5 years or so, I've started to just not really pay attention anymore because I don't know. I've always kind of felt like awarding music is hard, right? Music is art and it's very subjective, and some of the people that I think are amazing never get recognized for anything, and some of the people I think are mediocre get tons of accolades. So, and you also, if you're going to believe the good, you have to believe the bad. So, right? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You have
Yeah.
to believe the nice things. You have to believe the not so nice things. I don't know. I think as I'm getting older, I just don't really care anymore. What I would like to do is write a song that when I'm done recording it, I'm really happy about it. I really like the way it sounds.
Yep.
If someone listens to it and it moves them in some way, whether they hate it and it makes them want to break something, that's cool too. You know, you just don't want somebody to go, oh, that's whatever, and walk away. You want them to feel something, and that's pretty much more what I'm focused on right now, you know.
I always say that as writers, whether you understand the reason we wrote it or it speaks to you for some other reason, as long as it speaks to you, I feel like we did it right.
Yeah, because there's no way they're going to understand the reason you wrote it or feel exactly what you're coming from. And sometimes when you hear an artist tell you what that song was written about, or it kind of ruins it for you, right? Because you have it in your own context of your own
Yep.
life and feelings, and then you're like, oh, wait a second, that's not what I thought the song was about, and it changes the meaning of the song. So I think that it's nice to leave that up to the listener.
So one of the best ones that I'd heard in many years of that misconception of what a song's about was Semisonic's Closing Time. Have you ever heard the story about it?
I feel like I have, but I've completely forgotten it.
So everybody's like, closing time, get out of the bar, right?
Right.
And then he did a concert one day. Let's say concert, it was an acoustic show, and everybody was asking him about, play closing. Of course, he's going to play Closing Time, and he's a great performer. Semisonic, I think, is a very underrated band, and he's got a great voice. And he's sitting there, and he's like, "So y'all think this is about closing time, about getting out of the bar at the end of the night?" And that's what it got adopted as. But what it's actually about was having my kid. He's like, it's close. We were in the hospital, and I was like, "It's closing time. Time for you to come out into the world."
Oh gosh, I've never heard that actually.
Yeah,
Funny.
so that's what Closing Time by Semisonic is actually about. Dan, I believe his name is Dan. Dan having his first baby. Closing time, time for you to go out into the place where and the words are escaping me, but that's what that song's about. And that's like, wow, talk about a misconception of what he was
you never
thinking
think that.
and what the whole world thought,
Yeah, and you got a hit song out of it too.
And he got a massive song out of it. Okay, so what's the next song that we're gonna do for you? We have Lullaby and we have Better Days. Which one would you like to do first?
I'm gonna say Better Days for last because that's my most recent song.
Okay.
The one that's stuck in my head. This one is Lullaby.
Okay. So how did this come about?
So this one is sort of about, I have sort of long distance relationship. My boyfriend lives about an hour away, and on a good week, I get him for a few days because he also has a house and a daughter and all that stuff. So we have two very separate houses. It's kind of how I kind of got used to. So I must have had a couple weeks where he was staying at my house for some reason for an extended period of time. I got very used to him being there,
Okay.
falling asleep with someone there, and their heartbeat. And then went home, and I'm back all by myself again. And just how I got used to sort of his heartbeat being my lullaby, and feeling just very comfortable about having someone there and just like relaxing and falling asleep. And how when he's not there, I don't sleep so well.
Okay.
I write a lot of songs about not sleeping well.
Okay. Well, then.
I love watching your face while I like I have no idea what she's talking about.
No, I'm thinking about that. That's a when you get used to which was funny. We are just talking about babies with that. My son falls asleep on my chest, and he will fall asleep on my heart side faster than he will fall asleep on my right side. And you get used to that beat, you get used to that rhythm, and it will, it lulls. So that's a cool concept that even as a grown-up, that will still lullaby you to sleep.
Yeah, it does. And, I think that's just that safety of there's someone else there. And,
Yeah. All right. Well, this is Jennifer Teft and Lullaby.
Can't sleep again tonight. Hold my breath to stop time. Waiting on your next reply to stories and my lullaby. Catch my breath, no pills to take. Feel my heart begin to race. I just wanna close my eyes and feel you breathing by my side. Oh, and I don't wanna sleep alone. Just white noise on my phone. I've come to find your heartbeat is my lullaby, and I can't stand the solitude. Hands reaching out for you. I've come to find your heartbeat is my lullaby. Whispered stories in my ear. Your breath, I hope you're near. Wrap yourself around my fear. Talking shadows disappear. I'ma love your sleep dark eyes. Hold my breath to stop the time. I just wanna close my eyes and feel you breathing by my side. Oh, and I don't wanna sleep alone. Just white noise on my phone. I've come to find your heartbeat is my lullaby. I can't stand the solitude. Hands reaching out for you. I've come
For someone who didn't think she knew the song, that sounded awesome.
Thank you.
So, tell me about live shows. Tell me about like how often do you play? Have you toured? Tell everybody about the live end of your life.
So I did tour back in the day, right? I have kids now, so and the band does. We had actually just started ramping up to make this year a very busy year of band shows, and then whoops, nobody can go anywhere, so that's not happening. And for the last 6 years or so, I've been doing the solo acoustic thing. A lot of cover tune gigs to pay the bills.
Right.
And then some solo acoustic stuff and things like that. But I will say, although it's not my favorite thing because I do prefer my own music, it's taught me an awful lot because before that, I really didn't learn other people's songs. I just wrote my own and played those. And learning other people's songs has really informed how I write. Believe it or not, I have branched out into other chords other than E minor. And just sort of challenging myself to say, oh, like I want to write a song like that, or analyzing the structure of what they're doing or their lyrics and things like that.
Right.
So, I do a little bit of everything.
Okay. How many songs a year? I mean, how many songs? How many shows a year are you playing around now?
I don't know. I don't really count.
Okay.
So, for a while, I was doing like 3 to 4 nights a week, most weeks.
Okay.
I've cut that way back just because I also I teach little people music in the
Yeah, talk about that a little bit. That's really cool. So talk about that side.
It's funny. I never ever thought. I mean, I like kids. They're cute and all, but I never saw myself first as a teacher of any sort and working with kids at all. But I do a program called Music Together, which I actually did with my kids when they were little, and it's mixed age classes for kids 0 to 5 and their parents or their caregivers. And so it's a community. We build. Class becomes a family and a community, and we make music primarily with our voices and our bodies, and we introduce some, like rudimentary instruments like shakers, percussion instruments, resonator bells, and stuff. It really is about immersing kids in a musically rich and diverse environment.
Okay.
When they're in that learning window, that great window for learning between 0 and 6, that's where like language all happens, everything like that. Kind of reinforced in the use it or lose it thing, right?
Right.
Reinforce those neural pathways as they develop. And it's just been super fun. I get hugs after all my classes, and I sing, and I get to dance, and I get to be ridiculous, and so that's cool. But I do that, I teach several of those classes a week. I think I'm teaching, I was before I was teaching 6 or 7 classes, and that's 45 minutes to an hour of just singing as well. So with that on top of playing 3 to 4 hours at night, I blew out my voice in the fall. So I had to sort of dial it back a little to figure out what a sweet spot is. And now we don't have any gigs, so.
That's well now we're all getting a lot of vocal rest.
I'm getting lots of vocal rest. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of singing when you're doing, that's like 5-6 hours a day.
It's a lot, and then I'm also talking to my own kids, during the in-between time, right? And afternoon scramble of talking to them and stuff. I had the point where for a month straight, was not allowed to talk. I had flashpoints and stuff.
Oh wow, okay.
That was entertaining.
Yeah, no, I've been there.
Yeah,
We've talked about my vocal damage before, and there was a spot where they gave me that same edict. It's you shut up or
you're done.
Or there's consequences. So I literally.
And it's hard.
Yeah, I used my phone. I walked around with a scribble pad on my phone. I'd be like.
I had a little whiteboard. It was awesome because the kids would be like, "We can't see it. Bye. We can't see it."
I can't hear you, Mom. Mom, I can't hear you.
Yeah, they thought it was awesome.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, so as far as I'm sort of reevaluating as this goes along what the next phase is going to be. I really do want to get back to doing more original gigs, and that's kind of where my labor of love is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really concentrating on that, and I have an album's worth of stuff written, and I just need to get
There you go. Good. Well, definitely looking forward to that. So we've got one more song to work with you tonight, and that's called Better Days. So tell us about it.
I wrote this song, I don't know if it was last week or the week before.
Oh, wow. This is Brandy new.
It's a Brandy new song.
Okay.
And, this comes out of, what we're all kind of feeling right now. For me, the last 10 years has been
Right.
And then my
And
marriage
now you're
at
in
18
quarantine.
I'm in quarantine now. My marriage at 18 years imploded unexpectedly.
Oh.
I got divorced. And then, I kind of had to rediscover. I've been married since I was 20. I've been with him since I was 22, so I had to rediscover who I was as a grown up. Right? I was a grown up. And then, I've gotten to this great place now. I've started my own business. I've been doing this for the music things going. I've gotten to the point where people pay me what I ask them to pay me, and I've got, which amount of money I'm gonna make, and with my classes, the corner had turned. It's really just starting to finally feel like I got my head above water, and then all this happened.
Right.
And the rug just got ripped out completely. And I think a lot of people feel like that right now. Like, what the hell are we supposed to do? And it's very, I think everybody has those days right now where you have those days where you're like, I'm not getting out of bed. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. But then, you get up and the sun is shining and you move on, and you know this is going to pass at some point, right? Not forever, I don't think.
I hope not. I hope it's not forever. I mean, they keep pushing the date back, but...
I know. So this song was, about sort of recognizing those feelings and recognizing how hard it is to just keep starting over. I felt like that's what I've been doing for the last 7, 8 years. Just start all over. Sorry, I'm off the next.
Every time you get to a place where you're comfortable, it's
they're like, no, haha.
one step forward, 2 steps back kind of situation.
But as I was thinking today, though, these are the times when this kind of happens where you have to really get creative and you have to think outside the box. And a lot of times, this is where a lot of personal growth and change happen. Once you get past the woe is me, I can't pay my bills, and can't do this or whatever, you just kind of got to reach inside and figure out what it is you can make of the situation. And sometimes that's creating something completely new. Sometimes it's reevaluating how you live your life. I'm gonna shut up because I'm babbling.
No, you're not babbling. That's what this whole show is about. It's the stories. Well, yeah, kind of. Well, think about what songwriters do. I know I've always said that I never needed to go to a therapist because I could write songs. So
Right.
I babble to paper. I babble to my computer. I talk to walls. And what's funny is as a runner, half the time I'm running, I'm talking to myself. And I'm getting out all of the things that turn into songs.
Yep.
So babbling is sort of what this whole show's about.
Yay, I'm good at it.
But it's your babbling. Your babbling is the stuff that makes the songs that we're hearing, So...
Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, but I'm figure it out. I've got my lyrics in front of me because I know I'll probably go through that.
you'll be fine. All right, so this is Jennifer Teft and Better Days.
I'm grateful that I had almost found my way. Step by step, I'm moving forward till the rug got pulled away. Now the road ahead is lit up, and the fragments of the rail, and I'm picking up the pieces, building a bridge to what comes next. Wish me luck, I'm on my way now. Yeah, here I go again. But I'm so tired of starting over. Back to the bottom of that hill again. Still I say, hey, we'll find better days. We'll find better days. We'll find better days. Only way through this is forward to a place not seen before. Though the road is unfamiliar and the destination vague, one foot before the other, such a long way. Wish me luck, I'm on my way now. Yeah, here I go again. And I'm so tired of starting over. Back to the bottom of that hill again. Still I say, hey, we'll find better days. We'll find better days. We'll find better days. We'll find better days. I know. 'Cause flowers always bloom after the snow. And once again I'll find my way. 'Cause I know up ahead there's better days. Wish me luck, I'm on my way now. Yeah, here I go again. I'm so tired of starting over. Back to the bottom of that hill again. And still I say, hey, we'll find better days. 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 Thank you.
That is a great song.
Thank you.
I like that a lot.
I'm trying to find how it went the second verse. I wasn't quite in my groove on the first one.
Well, it's
So I'm
brand
gonna
new.
get the
So,
rhythm.
and you know what?
Yeah.
As a brand new song, and you'll probably, they might morph. It might morph several times before you get it down to a recording.
Yep.
Have you ever
Likely.
have you had that happen before? Have you had a song that you wrote one way, and then as you were getting into the recording or getting toward the recording, just sort of changed its feel or just sort of changed its character?
I think a lot of the songs do that, especially
Yeah.
when, I'm sure when you write a song and then you bring it to the band and you kind of like to step back maybe a little bit and let them find their footing with it. And a lot of times that takes it to a different place, and sometimes that's a way cooler place than where, I thought the song was going to go or where it should go.
Yep. Yeah.
I love when that happens.
It's sometimes a producer or just an outside ear can be like, hey, try something this way. And you're like, oh, I never would have thought of that.
I had this one moment, and it was a recording of an album called Shift, years ago at this point, that it was a song that I've been struggling with for a while called My Own, and it ended up being my favorite song, I think production-wise ever, that we've ever done. I just love the way the whole thing came out, but we got to the chorus and the bass player, my bass player, Jeff St. Pierre, just ripped out this killer riff that just defines the entire way the song was going to go from that point on. And we were in this tiny little, we were in the Sound Museum, I think it was, in Boston, like in this tiny little river, like Bruce Rush, shoved it together, and we stopped and we all looked at each other and went, what the hell was that? Like, that was so cool. And I was like giddy, and Jeff is a very composed, introvert type, very calm guy, and we're all looking around, and like really, really excited, and Jeff's like, I'm excited too. And I was like,
Go team.
yeah, no, so I love when that happens. You bring a song, you think it's going to do something, and then someone else gets an inspiration, and they just like blow the doors off the thing. And you're like,
Yeah. I've had that happen a few times. One specifically, I wrote a song with my friend called Rain Belchier, and I work with Darius Rucker's keyboard player a lot for my last 10 albums. He's either produced or played on all of them. And he I sent him this song we wrote called Finish Line, and I had this cool vision in my head, and I sent it to him. And the next day he sends it back. He's like, look, I want you to play the file, but I want you to sit with your eyes closed, and I want you to forget what you sent me. And I was like, what'd you do to my song? And he's like, just trust me. And I hit play, and I was like, oh my God, what did you do to my song? Oh my God, thank you. What did you do to my song? And he took it to a place I never could have.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a piano player's, you know, he looked at it from way different than a guitar player would.
Absolutely, and I find that happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's why it's nice to have flavors.
A certain way.
Yeah, exactly. So right down here, Jennifer's information has been scrolling the entire show. So if you haven't looked yet, look down there. Right there, it says JenniferTeft.com, Facebook.com, Jennifer Teft Music, Instagram is there, Twitter is there, her YouTube is there. I want to thank you for being here today with me. I do appreciate you taking the time. I know I'm talking. I'm talking to you right now, Ms. Teft. We're all busy. You've got kids. You've got things going on. I know we're all quarantined, but are you finding that on quarantine, we're almost busier than when we were?
I don't really understand the people who say they're so bored when they don't know what to do, because I feel like my list is like so long, like just on a normal day, and then with all this time, like all I'm doing is looking around, looking at everything else that needs to happen, and like I should come out of this with a full album. And of course, I should have this done. And it's like even more pressure. Like, you know, you should have all this stuff done.
Yep.
And I just eat cookies instead.
For me, it's been chocolate and potato chips. Because I have a 6-year-old in the house, so we have chocolate and potato chips, and of course,
Do you need to have a 6-year-old to have those in the house?
Well, I mean, that's my excuse for having them in the house. I'm not blaming myself for this, but what I'm saying is that, I will finish up my stuff down here, and I'll go upstairs to just unwind, and somehow I wind up eating either chocolate or potato chips at 11:30 at night, and then wake up and go, that wasn't a good decision.
Yeah, that's the late night thing, right? You know, it's shifted to the late night schedule now. People don't have to get up so early, and so I find myself at midnight eating stuff.
Yep. Anything you want to tell everybody about yourself before we let you go?
I'm really sorry how shiny I am. It's 1,000 degrees in this room. So.
You don't look shiny. You look very nice. And the sun went down, so that sunlight's off of you. When we were prepping earlier, the sun was just all over your face.
The shade. No, I'm just really grateful to everybody who's listened along the way. And I think one cool thing about this quarantine is that we're forced to reach out streaming-wise and actually interacting with people I wouldn't get a chance to interact with at the local bar down the street. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's been kind of a cool opportunity.
Now, you've had some good success streaming. You know, it's a beautiful thing streaming because, like you said, the local bar down the street's the local bar. Streaming is worldwide.
Right. And, you know, I've talked to, I had my last live stream, I had like my childhood best friend on there. I had my college best friend on there. I had friends from high school all in one space that I was interacting with. It's really cool. People I haven't talked to in forever. They're kind of popping out of the woodwork. And it's kind of neat, you know? So some good things come out of this, right?
That's awesome. Yeah. I think there's been a lot of reconnection through this weird time for people, you know? Two weeks ago, my Facebook Messenger rang on a Friday night at like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, what? Huh? And I pick it up, and it's 30 of my friends from high school who just one called the other, and then let's call this one, let's call that one. Next thing you know, there's like 30 people on a Facebook call, and I was like, I haven't seen or spoken to half you guys in 35 years.
They're like, where's your hair?
They're like, yeah, what happened? I'm like...
No, then that's the thing, right? Like, I had, like, these Zoom cocktail parties, but I haven't managed to get together in, like, a year or two. We are really like I said, you gotta think outside the box and find new ways.
Yes. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time. we are going to let Jen go. I want to say thank you guys for watching today. I want to, next week I have Dan Tracy from the Alan Parsons Project and Save the World on the show. So you're going to want to tune in for that. He's got amazing stories from touring around the world with Alan Parsons. We're going to hear some songs he wrote with and for Alan and some songs that he wrote with and for Save the World. We're going to look at a couple of music videos. He's got an interesting story and some cool things going on. So make sure you tune in for that. We are live every Sunday at 6 p.m. on Facebook. And then we are replaying at 7 p.m. every Thursday on Roku on the Plymouth Rock TV channel. So make sure, if you're a Roku subscriber, you download the Plymouth Rock TV channel. It is free. And tune in Thursdays at 7. If you miss us, you can just stream the show anytime you want. You can stream it here on Facebook, or you can on-demand it on Roku. So you have no excuses whatsoever to miss this show. I'm John Taglieri. I'm your host. I will see you next week. And by the way, here's our Facebook.
I've been searching for something in me. God knows how hard this journey's been. But there's a fire burning, there's a finish line to reach. And my convictions are what keep me sane. 'Cause I'm wide awake and dreaming. Those shadows can't find me anymore. These days I'm believing in everything that I'm fighting for. Times like these for me are fleeting. Never know when you're gonna get another chance. But I find the strength